Okay,
You're on.
so since I have been really little, I've been obsessed with Star Wars, and I've been playing with lightsabers and going back and forth, hitting people, them hitting me, lots of fighting, all that really fun stuff. And when I was little, I used a lot of like wiffle ball bats, like light plastic bats, toy lightsabers, all sorts of things. And so my goal with this project was to create a better version of that. So I started out the project kind of slowly, and I started out by just taking a bunch of things I found in the lab and sticking them together. It has just a U shape. What I did in the next version is I actually extended the overlap and made it a full hole, and designed a special pin that goes in here and holds the two pieces together. And it's really solid. You really can't move it around.
Hey babe, all of these roads won't be covered in gold. Hey babe, no looking back. Clear skies are on these tracks. Let's go down these roads. We can make them all. If we lose our way, I promise I will stay. I don't want to wait.
Doing some mesh mixing. He didn't just swear. We were trying to put an arm onto Mrs. Zelensky, but this aforementioned arm always causes my computer to crash, and Aiden's now trying to append it onto the wedding image. We're also browsing the web for some other wedding images that we can model off of, and we are checking out how to actually append objects in Mesh Mixer.
So pack your things, let's go. The sun is getting low. We'll find some place to call home. We'll find some place to call home. We'll find some place to call home. Find some place to call home.
No, it is for testing. It's very
So
important.
this is a blind access system. In fall term, I worked on a cane that would detect objects in front of you with James Bianco and Demi, and so then that worked really well. Except we found that it was heavy. Both the cane was heavy, and we couldn't get as good of a feel of the environment as we possibly could. So this term we improved on that, and we created a whole new system using 2 gloves connected to a breadboard and an Arduino. And the way the glove works is, since this mechanism is blocking the sensor, it won't detect anything until you make your hand into a fist. And then if you
I'm going to zoom in just so, yeah.
and then the sensor will detect something which will communicate that reading to the Arduino, which will then transmit information to the haptic sensor on the arm, which
You
will
want to
vibrate.
describe that?
So the haptic is pretty much a
zoom
motor in a tiny, it's a really small motor, and it will vibrate. So the way it works is the closer the object being sensed is, the more it will vibrate. So the stronger it will vibrate. So, Taco. So just walk forward.
So we were discussing, and we came up with a tea set originally, which was really fun, and we did a lot of research and patent research and stuff, and looked into different styles of cups. So, for example, my first project was to work on a Japanese style cup.
I'm going to zoom in. So, yeah.
Yep.
I want to look inside. Yeah. Okay.
And they can stack from the bottom. The
Yep.
dimensions are right, so they can stack. So originally that was my job, and while making the cup I had to learn CAD and how to create things from a 2D sketch and revolve it and whatnot, and all the different options you can use to create something. And meanwhile, the girls were working on a Victorian cup. This is just a smaller scale size, so it could print with the mold, which we'll talk later, but if you guys want to talk about that.
Yeah, so Kosa and I worked on the Victorian cup, and we can pull up a picture of the. It's not open. Oh, okay, just kidding. It won't open.
Just kidding.
But
Yeah, you can see that. You can
so-
see a version of a CAD file, which is the cup.
And so basically, like what we wanted to do was just create a mold for teacups. So I guess if we had more time and we had other materials, then we could create a mold that would be able to. You could put a clay slip in it, which is kind of like really wet clay.
So here's one version. This is for the Japanese cup. So this is just the volume of the cup from like here down, and then that's so it can fit correctly in the mold. So you can see fully here that the negative space in the mold would be where the clay goes, and then after drying, it would be able to come out and create the cup.
Okay, you guys are on.
Okay, so what we decided to do is sort of a delivery website for transportation and for like food deliveries.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to show them the code too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you bring up some code, I'll zoom in on it a little. Just seriously, just so the people at home can see kind of all the so what kind of text is that? What kind of language are you?
HTML. We started off by making a database, and then we figured out we didn't know what PHP was before, and we figured out that we needed to try to use PHP to access the tables and the information we put in our database, but we couldn't really figure out how to make that work, just because we had no experience with PHP whatsoever. But we used HTML instead, and we learned how you have to. It's a big game of like how you name stuff and where you save it to, because if you don't save it to the right folders, you then can't open it.
Sounds a little bit like Inventor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and then, so if you click on the bar, there's all the different, and then it has the information for it, and then and go back.
Mm-hmm.
And then the different restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. And then if you click on Domino's. And then it has its hours. And then menu, it goes to Domino's.
Nice.
So yeah. So we did that. And then we tried to using MAMP. Where is it? Using MAMP, I can't really get it up on this, but
Yep.
this is basically our database, and we played around using the different tables and trying to see how we can get our tables to then display using PHP on a web page.
All right. So here we go. This is May 24th. After $6 million man reconstruction, we're seeing whether our baby is back and flying.
It turned on like minutes ago. I need this.
There we go.
Taking off that. It's working!
And we're coming down. Congratulations! Explain, what's going on?
Right now, when we were in manual mode, we just keep it in stabilize, which takes advantage of all the things sensors to keep it not wobbling in any way.
Show me where the stabilize is.
This is stabilize. This handles all of our flight modes.
Yep.
So from here, what we're going to try now is enter autonomous mode, which is that.
Okay.
And then I will lift this up slightly after Showers uploads code into the drone.
Yep.
At that point, it should initiate its autonomous program. Should anything go horribly wrong,
yeah,
I will be prepared to flick this back up into stabilize mode and land it manually.
Gotcha.
That's it.
Here we go. So I heard the noise.
It is activated.
Autonomous system.
Running into auto. Launching. Or not, that's cool.
Theoretically launching. It usually takes a moment. Hopefully launching. Wait for a miracle for launching.
Oh, one second, I forgot to do one thing, sorry. Back in stabilize, activating rotors. Eventually.
There we go.
Activating auto, it should take off.
Okay, it's up and it's autonomous.
What? Stabilize! Stabilize! Stabilize!
Stabilize. No! And
Gentle.
all right. And the end result?
So the drone was able to take off, however, it exited its course. Whether or not that's caused by the winds or anything else is questionable. However, nothing
So you
destroyed.
first